From the studios of Farm Journal Broadcast, this is U.S. Farm Report.
Welcome to U.S. Farm Report this first weekend of April. I'm Ty Morgan, and here's what's in store over the next 60 minutes. It's USDA's first official look at what growers plan to plant this year. We'll share some of the surprises that sprung from USDA's reports on Friday. Plagued by drought, Texas cotton farmers are faced with some tough decisions this spring.
I've got cottonseed booked, I've got corn seed booked, and I've got grain sorghum seed booked, and I don't know what we're going to plant.
We'll show you what's at risk for an area known as the largest cotton patch in the U.S. The calendar now says April, but are you prepared to plant?
I think as a grower, if you think you know everything about farming, you just wait for Mother Nature to come around and she'll show you don't.
How you can protect yields in your fields with a focus on weed control. And in John's world.
Looks like rain to me.
Now for the news. As we prepare to kick off another planting season, USDA is out with projections of how many acres of corn, soybeans, cotton, and wheat farmers intend to plant this year. USDA says farmers intend to plant significantly more corn acres in 2023. The prospective plantings report released Friday shows U.S. farmers plan to plant nearly 92 million acres of corn, which is more than 1 million acres higher than pre-report estimates and a 3.42 million acre jump from last year. Soybean acres, those are up slightly from 2022 at 87.5 million. All wheat is up 9% at 49.9 million. And cotton acres are down 18% from last year at 11.3 million acres. Now, the grain stocks report did seem to be one that grabbed the trade's attention on Friday, with USDA revealing corn and soybean stocks tighter than expected as of March 1st. Corn stocks came in at 7.4 billion compared to 7.75 billion last year. USDA shows soybean stocks at 1.68 billion compared to 1.93 billion the same time last year. And wheat stocks are now under 1 million. Well, two companies say they will no longer move Russian grain. They are Cargill and Viterra. Cargill handles up to 5% of Russia's annual wheat exports and a small amount of corn. The Russian Agriculture Ministry says Cargill's decision will not affect its volume of domestic grain shipments. Market watchers tell us the Russian government is looking to completely own and control its grain exports.
This sounds like a move from Russia to gain more control over their export situation and have it less privatized. So by doing that, they're going to, if they can get in control of every little piece of that, then they're going to be able to say, we'll export to you or we won't export to you.
And the war in Ukraine does appear to be putting a strain on Russia's finances. The Wall Street Journal reporting the country's biggest exports, gas and oil, have lost major customers. It says the ruble is down over 20% since November against the dollar, and the labor force has shrunk as young people are sent to the front lines or flee the country over fears of being drafted. But there's concerns here at home when it comes to moving ag products around. Right now, America is experiencing an 80,000 truck driver shortage. At the same time, the median age of a truck driver in the industry is between 51 and 52 years old. That's why Congressman Dusty Johnson of South Dakota and Jim Costa of California introduced the SHIP IT Act in the House. The bill would incentivize new truck drivers to enter the workforce, and it streamlines the CDL process. However, it does allow states to increase truck weight limits by allowing 6-axle 91,000-pound semis to operate on the interstate system. It's been endorsed by several groups, including the Soy Transportation Coalition, as a way to move more freight more efficiently and at a cost savings.
A lot of states allow heavier weight limits with additional axles on the state and the local system. We think it should be also allowed on the interstate system, and that's the part of our surface transportation system that's built to the highest engineering standard, but yet in many cases it has the lowest weight limits allowed. So we think that makes a lot of sense to do that. We need to find ways to increase truck efficiency I think this is a really good first step.
He says this will also help decrease shipping costs, especially for ag export customers. But right now, a lot of old crop corn is heading to China, the country continuing with its string of buys it's made that started during the middle of March. We've been keeping a running total with this chart, now totaling more than 3 million metric tons or more than 128 million bushels. The Senate this week passing a bill that would block the new Waters of the U.S. rule. It would overturn an EPA rule that defines navigable waters and restore protections put in place by the Clean Water Act. Opponents say it's too restrictive and places a burden on farmers and agribusinesses. 5 Democrats did join Republicans in the 53-43 vote. The resolution now goes to President Biden, who has threatened to veto it. The American Farm Bureau Federation applauding senators for voting in favor of repealing. We are still awaiting a ruling from the Supreme Court, which could change the current rule. And there are now questions about the future of a pork processing plant in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. PorkBusiness.com says the company is putting the proposed $500 million processing facility on hold. According to an interview in Meeting Place, the company pursuing a joint plant with Prestige in Eagle Grove, Iowa. That's expected to be operational in 2024. Holstone's CEO says they like the Sioux Falls location, but have decided to pursue this joint venture opportunity first. All right, that's it for the news. It does not look like spring right now in the northern U.S. More severe and winter weather hitting the country this week. We'll have a check of your latest forecast next.